Hi everyone, welcome to Stretch Chords. If you were here in the spring, this will look somewhat familiar, but I am in a different location now. So you will notice my stretch chords are hanging vertically from the stairwell, and we made fun of them. We did call it swim tips from the stairwell a while back. But on a serious note, I like this concept because I stand tall, my body position is more aligned as I would be in the pool. I get to rotate, whereas if I'm standing and the stretch chords are horizontal, you can do this session, absolutely. You can do this session horizontally with your stretch chords aligned onto a door handle and so on. I just find you don't get quite as much rotation. It's a little bit harder. You're pivoting at the hips at 90 degrees. It's just a little bit more uncomfortable. So you can absolutely follow this by all means. If it just looks odd, you'll soon see why. I've got some other options as well. I've got the swim bench with me, and I've got some other stretch cord devices that have been sent. So I will be looking at them over the coming weeks. Generally, it's going to be Monday and Wednesday. 12:30 till 1:15, about 45 minutes or so, probably a little bit less today. So thanks for joining me. Hopefully this helps. We had some good results back in the summer. There was a few guys that were religious 2-3 times a week from week after week while the pools were closed, and they hit the lakes in the summer swimming pretty well. So this is not going to replace swimming, but with a bit of luck, it's only a month, and it will be a reasonable substitute so that when you hit the water, it won't be too mechanical, alien, and so on. So hopefully the few people that have joined, you're just lightly warming up now, whether it's a little bit of arm swinging or whether you're on your chords yet already. I'm just going to start my couple of minutes, a little bit of warm up, and then we will get on with the main set. A little bit similar to our swimming sessions. There will be a warm up, there will be a 25-30 minute harder block of work. I've actually got some proper paddle shaped attachments now. I've got a pulley system, so mine are quite smooth. I've got equal tension all the way through, which is important. I was reading quite a nice article about the limitations of stretch chords, but if you put a pulley at the front end, and I'll try to take a picture of this later, you can actually get quite a smooth movement with an equal distribution of stretch all the way through. My hands are maintaining 180 degrees against each other, and that's all good. As I'm putting the pressure down all the way through, I release and I rotate to the other side. So pulley up on top so that the cord flows nicely around. Actually, let me bring that down a bit. So, so there's a little pulley up on top by the stairwell. You may not be able to see that, but it's just kind of flowing down around that rather than being fixed. Which makes it a little bit stickier. And if you've got the heavy elastic versions, here we go. If you've got the heavier elastic versions, then you'll find that they're quite light at the front and heavier at the end. Sorry, someone was just trying to join in with the session. So Mondays and Wednesdays, again, whatever chords you've got, I'm sure we can make it work, whether you're standing as I am, whether you are horizontal, even whether you're on a swim bench. I know there's a new player come to that market, and we might well have a look at that in the coming weeks. I've invested in one, so I can show you that. And there's been a lot of publicity on the social media about that, and it looks a reasonable price. But again, it does suffer from some of the limitations, and I'll go into those. So if we're nicely warmed up, let's get ready with the main set. It's very simple. We're going to just sort of go up, adding a little bit of distance, a little bit of time to make the main set. Build up. We're going to start with 1 minute of effort, and then 1 minute light recovery. And you can either sort of carry on where you are, or you can take your arms out. You can take your arms out and just drop into a little bit of nice, relaxed, easy backstroke for the recovery. Okay, it's nice having all this extra room. I was actually really cramped in the other stairwell, So if you can reverse the movements, that would be quite nice. Okay, so here we go, 1 minute strong, and I'll talk you through the rest of the main set. Okay, as we go through it. In 3, 2, 1, let's go, let's go. So 1 minute strong. 1 minute strong, 1 minute relaxed. 1 minute strong, 1 minute relaxed. That's part one. And you can roll off the, if like me, you've got these sort of paddles and it's a little bit of a faff to get them on and off with the elastic attachments, then maybe you don't worry about disconnecting and rolling into the backstroke. We'll have a little swim down at the end, which will involve reversing the front crawl movements to help. Okay, so 1 minute strong, 1 minute a little bit lighter. Remember, we're switching from side to side. We're getting our extension in. We're closing down that surface area. We are keeping the head nice and still. All good front crawl swimming tips. I'm pivoting early here. I'm trying to bring the forearm into horizontal, which obviously in the water would be vertical as early as I can. And I am keeping the hand pulling quite central. Good work, everyone. Relax, relax now. If you've just got normal handles, quickly flick them off, roll into some backstroke maybe. Great idea to reverse the front crawl movements. Keep the shoulders nice and healthy. So as we go through, we're going to build this up now. Now we've got 2 minutes, 2 minutes strong, 2 minutes strong into 1 minute easy. And you can see where the pattern might be going. 3 and 1, 4 and 1, and 5 and 1. And since it's day one, I'm going to keep it nice and relaxed. We won't go down the other side where we often bring in a 4 and 1, 3 and 1, 2 and 1. That is the full pyramid of pain. Last 15 seconds before we build it up and go hard for 2 minutes. 10, 9. So think about all the technical pointers we're going to be talking through. This is the nice thing about being upright. We're standing. From my feet, here we go. From the feet to the hips to the shoulders, I'm getting the full body switching from side to side. I'm just going to slide across a bit. Yes, that was my elbow. Switching from side to side, pulling central. The elbow pops out wide. The elbows point towards the side of the pool. Fingertips point to the bottom of the pool. Use your sort of visual cues to help align the stroke. The hand is pulling under the body, not going wide. There's been some research into that, you know, if the pull is wider than the shoulder, can cause some impingement issues. I think for open water, common sense prevails. And if I want to go forwards in a straight line, if the left and the right arm are mimicking each other, equal amounts of force, equal amounts of pressure through similar angles, sending the water in the same direction, you should swim a lot straighter than you did previously. There's the first minute gone. There's the first minute gone. Good work, everyone. Remember, the hips are switching from side to side, allowing that stretch, that extension, that shoulder coming through, closing down the surface here, nice and narrow. If I were swimming full stroke, I'd be recovering and switching from side, switching from side, switching from side to side. Good stuff. Last 40 seconds. Here we go. Last 30 seconds. Keep the head nice and still. We'll talk about breathing later. But for now, just think about how clumsy, how big, how heavy the head is. Not just mine. We all share that problem. And the more it moves while you're swimming, the slower, the more drag, the more awkward it's going to be. So if you can keep it still and just breathe quickly, and we'll talk about that later, you will be faster. There's our 2 minutes, and relax, and relax. Roll in some backstroke if you can, if it's not too technical in terms of dislocating the hands. Good to reverse the movements. If this helps you, if these dryland sessions help you get an idea of some backstroke you can add to your session, your shoulders will forever thank you, I promise you. Good stuff, good stuff. 30 seconds, nice and relaxed, nice and easy. Backstroke is just the complete sort of counterpart of front crawl. I'm still switching the shoulders, the body position is the same, the head is the same, Obviously, it's a little bit easier with the breathing, because it can really keep in the same position. Works very well to supplement. Okay, front crawl in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. 3 minutes strong. 3 minutes strong, please. Elbow pivot. Use the forearm. Remember, it's not just about the wrist. It's not just sort of the wrist and the palm pulling down. We need all of this to pivot together. That becomes horizontal, and then it all pushes down. Again, if that's one thing you can take into the pool with you when we return, hopefully in December, that would be amazing. Don't just pull with the hand. Think of the fingertips to elbow as a pulling blade. It's anchored. You tip it over early, it anchors, it locks in, and then from there, I should actually travel forwards and beyond it. We're not trying to wrench water down towards the feet. We're trying to hold it and travel forwards over it. Good work, everyone. If you can hear a funny noise in the background, that's my son just having his lunch. There's 1 minute gone, 1 minute gone. 2 minutes to go of this round, please, swimmers. 2 minutes to go. Keep switching. Let's talk about the breathing now. So I mentioned the heavy head object sitting on top of your shoulders. Okay, we see a lot of movement bobbing around, and it's not helping your symmetry. Think of it as sort of the keel of a boat. And it's going to sort of help, if it's still, it's going to help keep things aligned, nice long body position. And even when you do breathe, the less time it is out of position, you will be so much more effective. So as that hand travels under the face, ignore this, because obviously this left hand, because I'm not actually pulling and recovering. Follow, follow, follow. And as that travels under, think about turning into that breath, and then getting the head back into neutral as quickly as you can. And the textbooks will tell you bilateral breathing. Breathing to both sides is what you need. Well, on race day, that may not be the best strategy, but we'll talk about that later. So if you can just take 2 or 3 to one side, and then roll into the opposite side. A breath every 3rd stroke is quite demanding, but sort of a double or a triple to the same side will keep a nice flow of air coming in. It will keep you nicely balanced. It will improve and enhance all your attempts at staying symmetrical. It will be very helpful. And again, who knows, there might be the sun coming up to one side, there might be a strong surf rolling in from one side, and you want all the benefits of mixing your breathing from training. You want all those benefits there, but you may not be able to employ it on race day. So training, definitely, you want to be mixing up the breathing. Just like that, 3, 2, 1, and back into our relaxed swim, back into our relaxed swim. Okay, minute nice and easy. Head still, roll the shoulders from side to side if you're working on your backstroke. Just like front crawl, there's an elbow bend. I'm trying to pull with the forearm and the hand as we come through. Enter with the little finger, pivot, keep the hand quite close to the body, swim narrow, never swim with the straight arm, pulling, that's not healthy for the shoulder. It's certainly not going to send you in a straight line. You'll see backstrokers with straight arms literally shunting from side to side. Good work, everyone. So in 10, 9, 8, 7, hello, we've got a little supporter coming along. Who's that? 3, 2, 1, pick up the pace. 4 minutes, 4 minutes strong. Here we go. Do you need to creep across? That's all right. Off you go. No one's watching. There we go. We'll do your session later. Don't worry. So I'm trying to finish beyond the hip. We often see one of the key problems, and this is a massive impact. The straighter you swim, the flatter you swim, the higher you'll exit. The higher the exit, the lower the shoulder, the quicker the breath gets stuck with the head turn into the arm. So many problems. That's why it's so important to keep your rotation switching from side to side. Exit further back, more time to get the breath in, the head to get back to neutral before the arm recovers. You'll get onto your side, you'll get narrow, you'll close down more surface area, your streamline will improve. It's so vital to rotate. Equally, you can't do too much rotation. That's a problem. If my head's sort of bumping around, I can overdo it. And literally, if the head stays still and you close down this surface area, that tells you you've done enough. That tells you you've done enough. That's why swimming on top of the black line is quite nice, or with a snorkel. Keep the head still, keep the chin pointing down in position, and it will stop you. If sort of my head's bumping around, can you see how this shoulder will go too far? So my head's bumping around, I'm not strictly breathing, but I'm allowing the shoulders to get beyond a good degree, okay? From here, that's enough. It's got this trailing shoulder above the surface, but that's all it needs to be. I did a big swim a few years ago in Lake Geneva, and my rotation really struggled towards the end. We were in the water for like a day and a half in blocks of 1 hour as a relay, and I must get back to some torpedo drills to help improve that. It's been, my swimming's been quite flat ever since. But the stretch calls are good because you can physically see. If you've got your laptop watching these instructions in such a way you can see yourself, try to just keep that switching from side to side. And occasionally it's worthwhile just stopping, have a little interruption, and just work on some torpedo drill. And I'll post these. These are on the YouTube channel where this will end up. Simple torpedo drill, standing on dry land, just to help let the hips follow, keep the head still, and learn what it's like to take the shoulder through towards the chin, but without the head moving.